Game show hosts are a familiar presence on our TV screens, sometimes for decades. But what happens when their show ends? Well, some may retire or fade into obscurity, others pass away under the radar, like these notable names. Suave, sunny, and knowingly corny, Chuck Woolery hosted one TV show or another almost non-stop from the mid-1970s until well into the 2000s. He first appeared on numerous talk and variety shows in the 60s as a musician, but a gig on The Merv Griffin Show led to Woolery's first hosting job in 1975, the original NBC daytime version of Wheel of Fortune. He left the word puzzle game after 6 years and soon began hosting Love Connection, the relationship show, which consisted mostly of a curious Woolery interviewing contestants about their mostly disastrous dates, ran for more than 2,000 episodes between 1983 and 1994.
But the next thing I knew it, my foot was in his mouth.
Maybe this is a Dominic technique.
In his later years, Woolery hosted Fox's primetime game show Greed in 1999 and GSN's Lingo from 2002 to 2007, before taking a turn at conservative punditry. In November 2024, Woolery died at his home in Texas. He was 83. Born in England in 1932, Colin Lionel M. became a stand-up comedian in the late 1940s under the stage name Richard Dawson. That led to American sitcom jobs, including a role as Corporal Newkirk on Hogan's Heroes, which ended its run in 1971. Dawson was just the kind of fringe celebrity that 70s panel game shows needed. Along with stints on I've Got a Secret and Tattletales, Dawson would appear on nearly 1,400 episodes of both the daytime and nighttime runs of Match Game during the decade, while also hosting Family Feud for 9 years. At one point, Family Feud was both the most watched daytime show and the most watched syndicated game show, justifying Dawson's status as his genre's top-earning host. With the show running as many as 11 episodes a week, Dawson developed some signature bits, including his overly familiar banter with the male contestants and his habit of kissing nearly every female one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a joy.
You're a good-looking guy there.
You bet.
Dawson died in June 2012 from complications related to esophageal cancer. He was 79. After ditching his science degree in the 1950s to pursue performing, Monty Hall moved from Canada to the US. He landed his first game show hosting job in 1960, leading CBS's Video Village, a real-life recreation of a board game. It aired for 3 years, after which Hall hosted a game show he co-created with writer Stefan Hatos, Let's Make a Deal, which first aired on NBC before moving to ABC. The show was all about bartering and trading up, and featured contestants who were picked from the audience to play games and negotiate their prizes. It also became customary for wannabe participants to dress in wild costumes or carry big signs to get Hall's attention.
This is Let's Make a Deal, where we have, I suppose, the best-natured contestants in television history.
The first version of Let's Make a Deal aired until 1976, but Hall went on to host thousands of episodes across various versions of the show. Let's Make a Deal even inspired a famous math brain teaser known as the Monty Hall problem, which uses the show's signature three-door setup to illustrate the counterintuitive nature of probability. Hall died from heart failure in September 2017. He was 96 years old. Peter Tomarken kept things moving along, but he never took himself or his game show hosting duties too seriously. He's best known for his 750-plus episode stint hosting Press Your Luck in the 1980s. The show had contestants slam a plunger to stop a spinning game board in hopes of winning cash and prizes and avoiding the whammy, an animated devil that eliminated their winnings. During his mid-1980s heyday, Tomarken also hosted the short-lived game shows Bargain Hunters and Wipeout. In addition to narration and occasional acting work, Tomarken was a licensed pilot, and he volunteered his time and skills to charitable causes. While flying an air transport mission for Angel Flight West in March 2006, Tomarken's plane experienced mechanical failure and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. The bodies of Tomarken and his wife Kathleen were later recovered by authorities. Tomarken was 63 years old. Though he's best known as a talk show host, Regis Philbin's prodigious television career was also filled with game shows. By 1975, when he hosted the flops The Neighbors and Almost Anything Goes, Philbin was a well-known TV star, having worked as an actor, news anchor, and announcer on ABC's The Joey Bishop Show. After the two failed game shows, Philbin co-hosted a succession of local morning talk shows in Los Angeles and New York. One of them went national in 1988, becoming Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. That series lasted for decades and became so popular that it led to dozens of other jobs for Philbin, including ABC's 1999 game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Philbin would ask a single contestant successively harder questions until they got to the $1 million winner.
This is the final answer heard all around the world. He's won $1 million!
The show was so captivating that ABC aired it multiple nights a week, with the three most watched shows of the 1999-2000 TV season all being millionaire airings. Philbin semi-retired in 2011 and died in July 2020 from heart issues. He was 88. A former minor league baseball player and rock musician, Bert Convy became a celebrity when he discovered acting and singing. He co-starred in the original Broadway productions of Cabaret and Fiddler on the Roof in the 1960s, before focusing on film and TV roles in the 1970s. That's when he started hosting a lot of game shows, too. From 1974 to 1977, and again from 1982 to 1984, he hosted Tattletales, which won Convy a Daytime Emmy. Along with hosting Third Degree and a Match Game revival, Convy presided over Super Password for more than 1,100 episodes in the latter half of the 1980s. When Burt Reynolds set out to create a game show where contestants had to guess what their teammate was drawing on a large tablet, he turned to Convy, his co-star in Semi-Tough and the Cannonball Run. Together, they served as executive producers on Win, Lose, or Draw, which ran from 1987 to 1990. Also in 1990, Convy was diagnosed with a brain tumor, which he didn't publicly disclose. While visiting his mother at Los Angeles Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in 1991, he fell ill and then returned to his home in Brentwood, California, where he died. Convy was 57. A versatile performer well-suited for the demands of TV in the 1950s and 1960s, Peter Marshall worked as a singer, actor, and frequent talk show guest. In 1966, he landed the gig that would make him very famous and a daily presence in millions of homes, hosting the Hollywood Squares. For 15 years, Marshall made the regular folks contestants feel comfortable while they all joked around with celebrities who gave wild and sometimes true responses to questions. Responsible for some of the most bizarre answers ever given by game show contestants, the Hollywood Squares landed Marshall 4 Daytime Emmy Awards for Best Game Show Host and propelled him back into the trenches of episodic television. In August 2024, Marshall died at his home in Los Angeles. The cause of death was kidney failure. He was 98 years old. While working as a disc jockey, Jim Lange was hired in 1962 to be the announcer and sidekick on the Tennessee Ernie Ford Show. That's where game show producer Chuck Barris discovered Lange and offered him the chance to host the matchmaking show The Dating Game. Lange hosted the series from 1965 to 1980, by which point it was known as The New Dating Game. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Lange also helmed the new Newlywed Game, Oh My Word, Hollywood Connection, and other shows. Lange died of a heart attack at home in Mill Valley, California in February 2014. He was 81. In its original run as an NBC daytime series from 1964 to 1975, Jeopardy was a very tough trivia show, testing contestants' knowledge on arcane facts and academic subjects. Such a show needed an appropriately stately host, and creator Merv Griffin found one in actor Art Fleming. Fleming portrayed authority figures on TV dramas in the early years of the medium, while also hosting variety and game shows like The Vaudeville Show and Stump the Stars. Fleming hosted the first Jeopardy, as well as the short-lived late 70s revival The All-New Jeopardy! When Jeopardy returned as a syndicated series in 1984, Alex Trebek got the hosting slot over Fleming. Still, Fleming remained closely tied to the franchise, appearing as host in dozens of live versions at conventions and events. He also made cameos of himself in Weird Al Yankovic's music video I Lost on Jeopardy! And Airplane 2.
Art, I'll take air shuttle disasters for 40.
The answer is the Mayflower.
Fleming died at home in Crystal River, Florida in April 1995, following a pancreatic cancer diagnosis. He was 70 years old. In 1982, former missionary and furniture salesman Ray Combs moved to Los Angeles to try to become a stand-up comedian. He booked gigs doing audience warm-up for sitcom tapings, and after performing on The Tonight Show, he signed a deal to host a 1988 revival of Family Feud.
What did you worry about most on your first date?
If they're gonna kiss you?
6 years later, Combs was out as host of the CBS daytime version of Family Feud and replaced by the show's original host, Richard Dawson. Combs later hosted a season of Family Challenge and the short-lived series The Love Psychic. After he endured injuries in a 1994 car accident that left him in continuous pain, Combs' marriage ended. In June 1996, he told a friend he planned to hurt his estranged wife, and after it was established that Combs had attempted suicide, police admitted him to Glendale Adventist Medical Center outside Los Angeles, where he was placed under psychiatric evaluation. Combs, who was 40 years old, died by suicide the following morning. In the 1970s, the most popular daytime game show was Match Game, a loose and breezy series where 6 celebrity panelists filled in the blank of a suggestive question, and contestants scored points by matching their answers. The guests were often at least a little tipsy, and it was a raucous affair with the laid-back and jocular Gene Rayburn presiding over it all. By the time Rayburn started hosting the 70s version of Match Game, he was in his mid-50s and a show business veteran. He pioneered drive-time morning radio in New York City in the 1940s, filled the role of sidekick on Steve Allen's The Tonight Show in the 1950s, and did a lot of theater, too. In addition to hosting thousands of episodes of Match Game across its various incarnations, Rayburn also guest hosted Tattletales and appeared as a panelist on shows like The Hollywood Squares and Password. In November 1999, Rayburn was at his daughter's residence in Massachusetts when he experienced congestive heart failure and subsequently died. He was 81 years old. From 1984 until October 2020, the authoritative and measured Alex Trebek served as the unflappable host of Jeopardy! However, Jeopardy! Was merely Trebek's longest-running show, as he hosted lots of other games. A native Canadian, Trebek oversaw 1960s Canadian game shows including Strategy and Reach for the Top. After moving to the US in the 1970s, he hosted a string of quiz shows that included The Wizard of Odds, The Magnificent Marble Machine, and the $128,000 Question. While hosting Jeopardy!, Trebek also starred on To Tell the Truth and Classic Concentration, earning Emmy Awards for Outstanding Game Show Host. In 2019, Trebek announced that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to keep working.
He filmed what would be his last episodes of Jeopardy! In late October 2020 and died a few days later on November 8th. He was 80. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.